Hey there, Dr. Joe Sebastian with Acing AP Exams. I'm going to help you and your students succeed on the most difficult part of their AP history exams, the free response questions. Now, you probably haven't heard of FRQs if you're only an AP history student, but you probably have hopefully heard of SAQs, DBQs, and LAQs. And in this video, I'm going to actually break down exactly how to write an SAQ or a short answer question using the ACE method, ACE. I'll walk you through my template and exactly how to get all 3 points for every SAQ question every time. Best yet, this is worth 20% of your overall exam score on any AP history exam. That's AP World, AP US, or AP European History. So let's get to the video and watch my complete breakdown on how to ace your SAQ.
So, how many of you were here for the last SAQ?
I wasn't there, but I watched it.
You watched it? Have any of you done an SAQ in class yet?
Yeah, we've done a few.
You've done a few. Has the ACE formatting helped you?
Yeah, it's been good. The first one went well. We haven't got our second one back yet though.
Okay, cool. So we are gonna do a general overview of it. Um, if you need me to break it down a little bit more, just ask. Okay. I will kind of go into it a little bit as well. So every writing workshop, I give you the 3 writing guides: DBQ, SAQ, LEQ. We will do it since we will not have a writing workshop next week because I'll be out of the country. We will double up in October and we will do a DBQ. So we'll do a DBQ over the course of like 2 sessions, or you guys tell me how you want it. We'll do it. Have any of you guys started a DBQ yet? Not yet.
Yeah, we have not started DBQ yet, only SAQ.
Okay. Good to know. Excuse me. So that's usually one of the last ones, but we'll get started in October with it. Give you the formula, show you the breakdown. If any of you have a DBQ before that, you have the access to the writing boot camp. And even though the topic might not be what you're currently working on, the DBQ training actually shows you how to get started. I spend about an hour teaching you how to read and analyze the documents, and then I teach you about another hour and a half of how to actually outline and break it down, obviously with the goal of getting to an hour to do all those things. So the SAQ is the most straightforward one. SAQ in terms of short answer questions basically require you to answer with a short paragraph response, and you need to have 3 elements of it to consider getting the point. The problem with the SAQ is there's 3 questions, but then there's 3 subsets of questions. So you have question 1, ABC, question 2, ABC, and question either 3 or 4, ABC. Okay, so you have to give this type of response for all A, B, and C. It's not just like combined. So the formula that we use is ACE method. So I was just putting this here to show you. You can always get a new fresh guide here with templates. It actually aligns to the full length exam because there are 3 questions. So there are 9 short paragraph responses. The formula I use, I make sure you put the question here. We're going to break down to 1 sentence here, 1 sentence here, 1 to 2 sentences here, and you combine it, and that's your answer. That's the formula. The ACE acronym stands for Answer, Cite, Expand. So if we looked at the first class, what makes a good SAQ, what earns all 3 points. To earn all 3 points has the 3 elements in it. One, the essay directly answers the question by identifying a claim. So that would be a topic sentence. But if you've seen a couple of my trainings before, a topic sentence that doesn't have a how or why is not a topic sentence for these type of questions. You need to answer the questions with a how or why, and we call that an assertion. So you answer the question by identifying your claim, making the claim to answer the question. You cite your claim by providing evidence. So this is where you would provide the specific name dropping or stat or something in the second sentence. And then you would expand on it with analysis. So connect your claim through historical context. That is the formula. We will do this together. I think we have all US and world here. We don't have any Euro students here yet, but I do have examples from each. Now, I'm going to do AP World. No offense, US people, because the world question is different. So every week on the writing workshop, just in case you didn't know, we try to tie the question as closely to the content that was from the Tuesday session. So right now, this should be pretty much paced with your class. AP Euro's dealing with Reformation. AP US is starting to talk about the colonies. And AP World, oh, I didn't switch out this question. I changed the, we're actually do it together live now. I'm sorry. We'll make a fresh copy here. Hold on a second. It is from the, if I had the question changed, but it didn't copy over. So it is from the modern 2020 exam, because you guys talk, the world students that are here, have you guys discussed the Mongols?
We're going to discuss it more in depth next week, but we kind of touched on it on Tuesday.
Okay, cool. Is that in this class or in your actual class?
In this class.
Okay. So I want, but you guys discussed, but in your, you guys discussed the Silk Road, right?
Yes.
So this question actually pertains to the Silk Road. If you don't know the Mongols yet, it's okay. Anyone else in AP World right now?
I'm taking AP World.
Dylan, where are you at in AP World?
So we're just now getting to what's it called? It's the 1.3 oh man, I don't have my book with me right now, but we already gone over the Silk Road.
Have you done the Mongols yet?
We're getting to that next week, but he said that we're starting to get to that point, but no, we have not learned about that yet.
But we're pretty close to where you're at, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And everyone else here is US. So when you get SAQs, they can either have a stimulus or not a stimulus. So we so far the last SAQ we did was non-stimulus. And AP US and AP Euro, you have a question that is directly from the released exam. These are non-stimulus related. You're just describing a difference, a similarity, and one reason. So that's pretty straightforward. As long as you know them when you come up with them. Now, you will have to do two questions that do have stimulus. So I thought, well, since we kind of touched on the Silk Road, we were going to touch on the Mongols. Today would be a good day to at least show everyone here what a stimulus-based SAQ question looks like, so we know how to respond to one. So the big thing here is you're going to get quotes or primary sources or secondary sources of which you have to analyze and use your knowledge of history to reply. So using the excerpt below, respond to parts A, B, and C. During the test, the excerpt will be above, but I just thought it'd be easier to do this. So the historian Michael Byron writes, the Mongol conquest have been defined as the last chapter of Eurasian transformations of the 10th through the 13th centuries. Yet with the same or even better justification, they can also be regarded as the first chapter of a new era, perhaps the early modern one. The Mongol period was a significant step towards closer integration of the old world, both inside and outside the empire's realm. Certainly the vast dimensions of the empire contributed to that, but the role of the Mongols was not limited to being the passive medium through which their subjects learned from one another. Instead, they actively promoted intercultural exchange. Okay. So we're, if you don't know much about the Mongols, and I know the other people here are US, unless they took world last year, we're gonna do these. Identify one economic development in the world, not the wood, in the world that would support. Or no, one economic development that would support Byron's argument in the passage regarding the Mongols and the integration of the old world. Can anyone think of an example? I have a clue for you. It was talked about on Tuesday. Come on. We're talking about Tuesday. I mentioned it already. Silk Road, ring a bell? We know that the Mongols protected the Silk Road. They used the Silk Road, right? So one economic development that supports Byron's argument is their protection of the Silk Road. That's how you would directly answer the question. So, what's the evidence? Well, I know, and again, this might be new. This will be new to you guys next week if you haven't learned it. Allowed merchants traveling on the trade route to be protected and safe from any harm. The Mongols were bad dudes, but they allowed merchants to travel without harm. And then as a result, goods and culture were able to be transferred between the different continents. And literally those three sentences would get me 3 points. So 1, 2, 3. That's an SAQ. That's an answer. Okay. I'm going to show everyone how to do 1A of US. So I'll put this as world example. And since we only have US as well here, I'll do the US example. You guys with me so far?
Yes.
Yeah.
You guys getting some value out of here? Like, really hard not getting feedback from you guys. So 1A, this is the US example. So again, follow along. Okay, so now briefly describe one difference. Briefly describe one difference between the economy of British North American colonies in the Chesapeake region, such as Virginia, Maryland, and the economy of the middle colonies, such as Pennsylvania and New York. Miss Noel was touching on these this week. Anyone else in US? Are you guys around this time period? Are you ahead of this time period? Where are you at?
Oh, we're kind of ahead. We're starting the American Revolution right now.
Okay. So you're a little ahead. Anyone else around this? So then you should know these answers, right?
Yeah.
Harshita, where are you guys at? Where are you guys at in terms of content?
The Native American, like,
So you're a little bit behind this?
yeah.
Okay, cool. Kaya's World. Dylan, your world, right?
Yes, sir.
Bryce. Okay, Bryce is US. Cassidy's world. Okay, so my US people, I have one behind, one ahead. So Bryce, I'm gonna pick on you. I'm sorry, but what's one difference between
Uh,
these two people's?
so I would say that the Chesapeake region had an economy more focused on like tobacco growing and farming, while the middle colonies were more mixed, and specifically they were known as the red basket colonies for producing food.
Okay, awesome. So yeah, this actually one is a little this is a little bit longer answer than you typically would get here in your short answer because it's asking for a difference. So you actually have to do the ACE method twice, but we're just going to try to combine it. So hopefully you understand because I'm going to have to answer the difference for the Virginia and Maryland colonies and then the difference between the Pennsylvania and New York. So one difference between the economy of the, this is a little bit redundant. Its economy. What'd you say? Tobacco? Cash
Yeah,
crops?
tobacco and cash crop farming. Yeah.
Chesapeake colonies. More reliant on slavery for their labor intensive economy. The middle colonies relied, or no, middle colonies did not rely on slavery because their economy was grain based and not labor intensive. Their economy was also more industrialized. Major cities like New York City and Philadelphia. So again, a little bit longer than than you'd want to in this, but because it's a difference, you have to answer it. The other questions, though, don't require as quite a long of one. Let me see if, well, I lied. The similarity would be shorter, the difference would be longer here. Okay. Questions on how we came up with those responses. So we have done question one together for US.
Can you just scroll back up for a sec so I could finish typing the?
Right here.
No,
Okay.
no, to the yeah.
Yep. Yeah, no worries. So we finished two questions. I just showed you how to do it. Let's do B together for both world and US, and then you'll do C on your own. Okay? But you guys have to participate to do it together. Okay? Ready? Bryce, you good?
Yeah, sorry.
No, you're fine. I'm making sure you're done. Okay. So we did that one together. Now we did that one. That's not, we didn't do world. We didn't do Euro. We did this together. Let's do world. Explain how one piece of evidence would challenge Byron's argument regarding the Mongols and the first chapter of a new era. So, what do you think? Remember stuff about the Mongols? Let's think through this together before we start. So the historian's saying that the Mongols were the catalyst of the new era. The Mongols in the 1400s were the bridge between old world and new world. Is there another example around the world of something else happening at this time that could be seen as starting a new era?
Could it be something in like the Americas?
Yeah, you're on the right track. Specifically,
Okay.
what?
One of the like the Incas, the Aztecs, or the Mayans.
And what about them?
How they were like in their like own like era, like they had a bunch of innovations and they were like strong empires at that time.
Right, but remember what the historian's saying here is the last chapter of the old world and the first chapter of the new world. So the Aztecs and Mayans, Incas were mostly by themselves, right? Until something happened.
Mm-hmm.
What happened to them?
Didn't like this like the Spanish sail over there?
Absolutely. What period was that called?
I don't remember.
Okay. Anyone else want to help? Because there's some U.S. history here too. The 1400s, 1492. What happens?
It was like exploring and like the colonization pretty much of the North Americas.
Was that a new era in history?
Yeah.
Where, okay, there he goes. That's an example. You see how we got there, Kai?
Mm-hmm.
So we're thinking of so the Mongols might be the bridge or European exploration of the New World. So one piece of evidence that challenges Byron's argument would be European maritime exploration. How so? Well, what do they use?
Like lateen sails and like compasses. And I think stern rudders.
Mm-hmm. What were they able to do? Europeans were able to travel to distant places in shorter times. And now we have the fact, but now we have to connect it. We have to expand and provide the context. Why isn't it the Mongols? Although Mongol conquest led to interactions in their empire, maritime voyages played a more significant role in expanding influence and transporting ideas and goods, thus making it more worthy of a start of a new era. So guys, that sentence right there that could be used. I mean, that could be used in an LEQ or a DBQ to refute claims. I know I spelled all of it right. Hold on. So what I mean by that is the claim that the Mongols somehow, the destruction of the Mongols, because they were good on the trade routes, they helped bridge, they helped exchange of ideas. That is true. The Mongols brought gunpowder from Asia to Europe. They transformed the region. They were the responsibility of creating the gunpowder empires of the Islamic states. They helped bring silks and spices from China over to Europe. They protected that. But the Columbian Exchange might be the single most important biological and technological thing to ever happen to humans, because of literally two parts of the human race were isolated from one another enough that they evolved differently, now come together, right? And had major consequences, both positive and negative. So I'm trying to show the reader in these sentences that, yeah, the Mongols were important, but European influence way more important. Are we clear on that?
Yes.
Okay. Because you're going to have to write this in a minute. So, US, briefly describe one similarity between the economy. We'll have to make a B here. Hold on. And then if you guys have, we'll get done a little early. So if you have something to work on, we can work on that too. You can throw it in the chat or on the Slack, and we can pop it over there. You know, we can get some feedback on some stuff too if you want it. US, briefly describe one similarity between the economy of the Chesapeake colonies and the economy of the Middle colonies. Cool. Oh, there we go. What's the similarity? US peeps.
Not one similarity. I guess that while there are different types of farming, they're both farm based. They're just farming different things.
Okay. So what do we call farming? What's another word for farming?
Agriculture.
Between the economy of the middle colonies, mostly on and what do the two focus on? The Chesapeake focus on
The Chesapeake focused on tobacco, and the middle colonies were more focused on grain.
boom. Much simpler, right? That's similarity. Good job. There's your answer. Okay. Now, I want you guys to write the last one on your own. So you have this last part C to do on your own, and we can share out. So if you struggle though, let me know. I can give you some pointers and tips. But I want you to at least try to put that together. Okay?
Yeah, all right.
I'm going to give you about 5-6 minutes here. Come back in about 5-6 minutes and go ahead and write it. All right. Dylan gave me an example. I'm gonna pull it up here on the screen. Guys, keep working. Let's give some feedback. Thank you, Don, for volunteering. So explain how one intercultural transfer enhancement resulted from the Mongols' conquest. One key conquest the Mongols had was taking over different regions or dynasties, especially the Spasiad. With the Prophet of Islam dying, there were a lot of questions on who was going to take over his power. Taking over, they further expanded east and were stopped by the Mongols. Mongols were a powerful force, having advanced technologies like swords and trades, having very sneaky tactics. Okay, this is a good start. But this does not get into. So what's the so let's start here, Dylan. What is the intercultural transfer? Where are you what do you identifying as the intercultural transfer? Cultural transfer, I can't speak.
It would be the Mongols taking over different regions and I guess from other regions they would take over their empire or dynasty and would change it to their perspective.
Okay, explain that more then. How is that an intercultural transfer resulted from Mongol? Like, so what? So do you want to use this empire? If you want
The
to use this,
Abbasids?
yeah, the Abbasids. What do you want to? What transferred through Mongol conquest? What did they have that the Mongols took, or vice versa?
I
Because
guess
it's
would
not.
be the
I think you might have read this wrong. Mongol conquest, it's one intercultural transfer. So one intercultural transfer or enhancement, but you went with transfer, that resulted from the Mongols' conquest was
them taking over the Abbasids.
but how you get? But that's fine. Are you gonna tell me how?
Oh, okay. So you want to know the how they transferred from the Abbasids to their I guess
Yes. So you could still use that, but the very
uh,
next sentence better be the cultural transfer. The
okay.
Mongols took or expanded or what?
Mm.
Did they take anything from them culturally?
Yeah, they did. Yes, sir.
What did they take?
They took their uh well, the Abbasids had were starting money and they had different culture diversities
Just pick
between
one.
uh mm, do I think
It's
can't really
okay.
think of anything right now.
Okay. But do you see where I'm heading with this?
Yeah, yes, sir.
Okay. So that's where I think you're making the mistake is you went to conquest, but really you need to talk at the questions asking you about the transfer. So as long as we can identify something that they transferred, we can do this. So if maybe the enhancement was, I don't know if they Did they take any technology from them?
If they probably take like their whatever they traded between the Silk Road, Abbasids probably had stuff they've traded, and the Mongols would take whatever technology they had from other countries.
Okay. So if you don't know the specificity, maybe go broader because it seems like we can't remember the specific thing. Did the Mongols do anything more globally? You don't have to go into an empire. Did they allow for the transfer of anything else in their society or part of their society? Did anything move from one place to another culturally because of the Mongols?
Um,
I know we haven't really gone into the Mongols fully, but
yeah, I haven't really like gone over the Mongols, so it's kind of hard to talk about the Mongols.
okay. Kaya, can you help them out? What did the Mongols help spread? What did you use?
My example was a spread of Buddhism.
There you go. Was the spread of, you could use Buddhism or you could use religions even more broadly. You see what I'm saying, Dylan?
I just said Buddhism because that's the main one we talked about in class on Tuesday.
Okay, so the starter sentence: one intercultural transfer that resulted from the Mongol conquest was the spread of Buddhism. Cite it, Kaya.
I said the protection of the Silk Road led more merchants to travel, resulting in the spread of Buddhism across Eurasia.
Okay, expand.
For my expand, I said, even though Buddhism originated in India, it spread far and wide throughout Eurasia due to the Mongol conquest of the Silk Road.
Boom. That's great. Dylan, I know we haven't learned about it yet, but do you see where we're going with that? How that directly answers, that provides the evidence and then expands on it?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So let's make sure we do, like, you don't, I think you got too focused on the conquest and what specific, but remember that's going to lead us to a time trap because we're going to like, oh, the Mongols helped spread religion. There you go. I don't have to make it any more complicated than I need to get the answer. Right?
Right.
Sweet. Okay. US people who has a good practice to volunteer for US. Want to share with me? Oh, I'm typing on yours, Dylan, huh? Peace.
Yeah, I think mine's good for US if you want to share that one.
Can you share it?
Yeah, just share it with you.
You just drop the link in the chat or share it with me. You can send it to me directly or you can put it on Slack.
I'll just put it in the chat real quick.
Okay. Cool. Thanks, Bryce.
Yeah.
So we're looking at, where we at? See? Okay. Briefly explain one reason for a difference between the economy of the Chesapeake colonies and the economy of the middle colonies. One main reason for the difference in the economies between the two was the longer growing seasons and more fertile soil. Okay, there's two reasons, but sure. The Chesapeake colonies had a longer growing seasons and nicer weather for farming. I wouldn't say nicer, I would say more like warmer weather.
Okay.
So I would say warmer weather for farming since they were further south. and you'll have to say since again, and closer to the coast. All right, since they were closer to the coast. Okay, so that's okay. And since they were close to the coast, the soil was more fertile for farming, opposed to the more rocky soil in the upper and middle colonies. Everything there is good. It just, there's a lot of words that I think you
Yeah.
can make this more direct, right?
Mhm.
Still get your point across. So maybe break it up into 2 sentences.
Okay.
The Chesapeake colonies had longer growing seasons, comma, sorry, longer growing seasons due to warmer weather.
Weather period.
And since
Since they
it
were
was,
further south.
and since they were further south and closer to the coast. I would keep this one sentence. So the Chesapeake colonies had longer growing season due to the warmer weather. Or actually, here, warmer weather in the south, comma, and since they were closer to the coast, the soil was more fertile. Period. And since they were closer, to the coast, to the coast, the soil was more fertile for farming. Period. The middle colonies had more rocky soil.
Just period.
I would say which made their growing season shorter, or growing season harder and shorter.
Gotcha.
Chesapeake colonies, yeah. I love it. Expand's great. That's great. Really good answer there.
All right, sweet. Thank you.
Yep. Anyone else want feedback on their SAQ? What do you guys think? Pretty straightforward once you kind of get the hang of it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Cool. All right. So we are approaching that hour mark. I could stay on and we can workshop anything else you need from me, or we can end. It's all depending on you at this point, guys. Because that was the SAQ. It's a little bit shorter than the other two. And again, a reminder that we're not meeting next week. We will double up with the DBQ the following week. There will still be content classes on Tuesday, but no writing workshop on Thursday because I'll be out of the country. You guys need anything else?
No, I'm good. Thank you.
I'm
Yes,
good. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Have a good night. Cassidy, do you need anything else?
No, I'm good.
You sure?
Yep.
This makes sense?
Yep.
Okay, go crush it. Dylan, do you need anything?
No, sir.
No, you sure?
Yes, sir.
You straight with these SAQs now?
I'm starting to get the hang of
By
it.
the time we get ready for the exam, man, you're gonna crush them. Just remember that.
Sure.
Remember, when you directly answer the questions, it's not you're definitely respond directly to that questions. I think what's the hang up for you? Cool.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right, Harshita, how are you? You're good?
Yeah.
You got anything to work on? You need any help?
No.
Okay. Promise?
Yeah.
All right. So Misha, how are you? You good? Came in a little late. Does this make sense?
Yeah, I'm getting it so far.
Do you need us? I can stay on and work with something with you. Do you need anything?
I think I'm good. I think I got the hang of it.
Okay. I will post the replay shortly so you can see where we started,
All
right?
right.
Then you can, I always forget to change these dates. I change the date in the title. I don't change the date there. But yeah, so again, just directly answering the question, making sure we provide that evidence, and then expanding it. That is how we SAQ. All right.
Mhm.
Okay, guys. You guys have a good evening. I will see you when I see you. Let your teachers know if you anything like need anything.